Hey guys, Han Meditations here, and I'm so excited to bring you guys a new meditation album.
Entranced to Serenity, streaming now on all platforms. See you there.
So what is, in your mind, the fastest way to disarm a mythicist?
I've got a book called Historical Jesus where I list 12.5 texts, many of them outside the New Testament, in the ancient world for the existence of Jesus. But one probably better example I would use, some say, yeah, but you're a Christian. Okay, Bart Ehrman, an atheist New Testament scholar. Bart Ehrman gives 15 independent sources for the crucifixion of Jesus within 100 years. Now, 100 years is actually kind of strict, but it's a nice, narrow parameter for saying Jesus lived. 100, and here's an atheist, 100 years time, 15 different sources evidencing Jesus' death. If he died, he had to have lived. So Bart Ehrman calls that one of the two best evidences we have for that Jesus lived in history. The other one is that Paul is the best New Testament reference we have. Critics talk about half of Paul's epistles, 7 out of 13, being accredited, and you can use them in arguing because they're great sources. Well, the best thing Paul gives us is that he was an eyewitness to the eyewitnesses. Paul, in Galatians 1 and again in Galatians 2, he went to Jerusalem and got to know Peter, James, the brother of Jesus, then in Galatians 2, John. They're all together, and the topic they're discussing, as Paul tells us, is the nature of the gospel, to make sure they're all on the same page. And Paul concludes, yes, they're all on the same page. But here, that's two great sets of data for the existence of Jesus. 15 independent sources for the crucifixion of Jesus, and Paul knowing himself, of course, Peter, James, and John, the big four. He knows all of them, and he can ask him whatever questions he wants to about what Jesus looked like when he was walking and talking in Galilee. So it would be like asking George Washington or asking Thomas Jefferson, what was George like? Asking Adams and John Quincy Adams and Monroe and so on. What do you know about George? And then it'd be really cool if you could talk to Martha. And that's neat because we have the women's testimony for going to the tomb and so on. So you make a multifaceted case for George Washington being the first president of the United States. We can do the same thing with Jesus actually having existed. And as Bart Ehrman says, he knows of nobody, no accredited specialist in the field of religion, no matter how liberal or how atheist or whatever, none of them who will have university, college, or seminary positions, none of them teach that Jesus never lived. The guys who teach it and claim to be scholars are people who don't have accredited degrees. He said with two exceptions, is Bart's count. The rest do not have accredited degrees, and none of them have university positions.
Why are they making such a big splash, do you think?
Probably because they infiltrate almost every website there is and have a bunch of, they have a loud presence. Whatever side you're on, recently, there was a choice for Supreme Court justice in this country. How come the voices that made it on the news shows were the little chattering voices that ran next to the senators and got up in their ear and chirped at them and wouldn't let them sit down at the tables, and because that kind of thing makes the news. And people said, whoa. And when they say, oh, no, and they pretend like they're scholars, but they don't have any training, they haven't been in the field, and all the other scholars, atheists even, like Bart Ehrman, say they're wrong. So to me, that's the real test. It's not just Christians saying they're wrong. It's non-Christian scholars saying they don't have a chance.
Wow, that's very interesting because there are people out there that try and pretend like Jesus didn't live, he wasn't here, he was just some made-up thing from someone's imagination, which absolutely just ridiculous on all levels, because as you said, even atheists who are actually educated know what they're talking about agree that Jesus lived. I mean, throughout all religions, almost no religions deny the existence of Jesus. Yeah. Muslims believe Jesus was a prophet. They just don't believe he was the son of God or God. And
they even believe he will come back.
Exactly. And they even believe that he did produce miracles.
Yeah.
And of course, Jewish people believe that Jesus exists as well. So the three main religions believe that Jesus was real. The three main Christian Judeo religions.
Yeah. I mean, even considering, I of course like to play devil's advocate and just thinking about the concept. Okay, let's say he did not exist. Well, then all of these people had to come together, come up with all these amazing words of wisdom to say that feel quite godly, that make you become closer to God. And they had to make up this story of this man who said it all. Who
did miracles.
But really, they would have to make it up anyway in order to write it down. And there's clearly just such profound texts in the Bible that bring you closer to God. So just the fact alone of how it has brought so many people closer to God, closer in faith and more holy, then it just doesn't make sense. It had to be real, because even if it was made up, it still has the same outcome, right? So,
for sure. Yeah, man. And we think that the world needs more of God. Doesn't matter what religion you are. We believe that people need to believe in God more. They need to respect and revere God. They need to respect and revere themselves more. And they need to actually learn more about different religions, learn more about different prophets, about different people, about different ways of life, about different principles, about different miracles, so that they can produce the miracles themselves and they can become better people. So if you believe in that, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel and let us know what you want us to watch next. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.